Oh, so yeah, so the guy from Maui's emergency services resigned. The guy that didn't use the sirens. I also was watching these videos last night where the roads in Maui were all like blocked off. I heard that there was thing. Roads Maui were blocked. They were saying that the freaking roads were blocked by electrical trucks, dude, that were out there replacing poles and down power lines before the fire was even over. Right here. NBC News. Maui residents say utility trucks blocked roads as they tried to flee. Why? Three survivors of the deadly wildfires that ravaged Maui said Wednesday that when the inferno erupted, the main escape route out of town was partly blocked by Hawaiian electric trucks, clearing down lines and replacing bus power poles. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you go look at the videos, I can pull one up. There's literally, like, the traffic is horrible. So you have the fact that the emergency broadcast didn't go off before, and then you have the roads blocked off by what people are saying are power trucks. At first, I saw it was just cops that were blocking it, and they were like sending people in circles around the area. Like if you look at Maui, what was it, Front Street map. Like if you look at the way, so the main rig road in this area is this. It's like a bypass for Route 30. Like this is Route 30, so this is like the main, like one of the main highways that goes along the coast here. And if you look, this is like a kind of like a bypass. It's like there, kind of like a boardwalk kind of area, like a waterfront main road, and each end of it connects down back onto 130. And I guess that's where most of the traffic was like sent to. And people were saying they were having them drive around in circles and shit. So I don't know if that means they were having them go down these, like up and down these side streets. Maybe they blocked off Route 30, but I don't know why they would block off Route 30. I also saw a video where guys like he was walking along this highway and there was no cars on it, like they had blocked it. And then you had the other guy, manager. Let's see. This guy was talking about how like water is and I get it because he's like saying that water shouldn't be used as like a commodity. We should be respecting water. Like he's like really. What up, guys? He's really like one of those guys, and I get it because Hawaii's had big issues with them coming in there and growing sugarcane. They took over all the land, grow sugarcane. I guess that's a big reason why the fires spread so fast too, because I guess all that land that they used to use for sugarcane, those companies still own it, and now they grow certain grasses there, probably for like feed for animals. And I guess that they haven't been clearing the grass properly, so there's like a lot of dead, dry grass over there. And then they had abnormal winds, and then the power lines hadn't been maintained properly, so they fell, and then boom. And then you mix that with the fact that the emergency broadcast didn't go off. The retard that does the water, like, is like in love with water and wants to fuck it, so he wouldn't let them use any water. And then you had roads that were all blocked off. It was just a recipe for disaster. How many people ended up dying? It's like 100 now? How many? Oh, five. 111 people. But the pictures are friggin' fire. I mean, it fucking leveled, dude. That's crazy, bro. He is a fucking wet spot. I mean, that's so tragic, dude. But yeah, you can even see it here. Like if you see all over here, like see all these, it's just long plains of grass. It's just weird to me that as they're talking about all this, yeah, exactly. As they're talking about all this global warming stuff, now all of a sudden all these fires are coming up in areas that, because they haven't been cleared properly, they haven't been maintained properly, the proper systems aren't in place or aren't used properly. Now all of a sudden all these wildfires are getting out of control, where in the past they would have been controlled a lot better because the land would have been cleared properly so that we don't get as many fires. The emergency services would have been in place and been used properly. So in the past, you'd have a wildfire. I mean, except for like in LA, which LA is just a shithole. But in most places, yeah, it's bad, but they generally get them under control in time. How are the ones in Canada doing? I know there's a new one up in Yellowknife. This is 39 minutes ago. Watch this. Yeah, this is the Yellowknife. I think Yellowknife is.
If you have this,
I don't care about that. Thousands of residents are rushing to evacuate the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories as more than 200 fires burn across the region, leaving many to face dangerous road conditions or stand in line for hours for desperate needed emergency flights. This is the other thing too: is a road coming out of here was cut off. Like yesterday, I saw a tweet about it. Here you go. Entire cities are being wiped off the face of this planet due to climate change related events. You can't keep ignoring this and pretending like it's somebody else's. Well, let's see. Hold on. What caused the fire in Yellowknife? This is the thing. It's just so. Not only is it dishonest, it really doesn't get to the root of the actual problem. You can scream up and down that it's climate change, but climate change, even if it is a real thing, even if it is man-made climate change, it's not throwing balls of fire down from the sky. There are other factors clearly that are leading to more fires than there was before. You don't just all of a sudden get dry and heat and it causes fires all over the place. Experts say climate change. Yeah, see, it's like ridiculous. Um, let's see if we can find what they think the cause is. Yeah, I mean it's typical that. I mean, say what you will about Trump, but at least he would pay up for people if this happened. The capital city of Yellowknife, home to 20,000, and several other Northwest Territories communities have been ordered to evacuate as crews battle 236 active wildfires in the region. Residents of Yellowknife have been urged to evacuate by noon on Friday as a massive fire creeps towards the city in a major highway. It's among 1,000 fires burning across Canada right now. Worst fire season on record. What does this bring me to? Canada wildfire smoke reaches Europe as Canada reports its worst fire season on record. Um, Brush clearing Canada. Let's see. Canada blamed for forestry underfunding and mismanagement. Right here. See what this does. Milk and vote. Milankovitch cycles. Oh, it's from NASA. Yikes. Cycles include the shape of the Earth's orbit, angle of Earth's axis, direction of Earth's axis. What does it bring you closer to the sun? Yeah, so as you come by, it brings. This is the things. That's what a lot of people say is that we're in. I mean, it's you can't deny that we go in cycles. So people are just saying it's just one of the cycles that our Earth goes through. Um, which yeah, I believe that. I also believe that climate change is probably. I mean, there's a natural phenomenon with it. But the other thing is, even if so, yeah, let me turn. Even if it's like man-made, part of it's man-made, it's not my fault, dude. I'm not out there like spraying aerosol cans into the sky. Um, I barely even drive my car, bro. So don't blame me. Why don't you blame these big corporations that you guys? I mean, up until 5 years ago, you guys were against all these huge corporations, and now you fucking suck the dick of big corporations. And the problem I really have with them is the way that they go about these things. Like they think that like ESG scores. Also, you know what's gonna happen is they're gonna be like, okay, you have to do this, 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 and this, and then a couple years from now they're gonna go, oh, actually, all those things that we tried to make you do just made it worse and cost us more money. So now we have to do something different because all that actually just made the problem worse because we're actually using more energy than we were before, so we had to burn more. Right. Well, that's the other thing too. Is that a lot of times these fires are like. I mean, I saw that picture the other day. If I can find it. Oh, it is bad, huh? That's that's crazy. Like all these ones that were up here though, in this area, all look like they kind of started at the same time. But what it looked like to me is that there was one big one that started, and then the wind just blew sparks nearby very quickly, so it all just caught. Which I don't deny that if it's dry, then yeah, it's gonna make it worse. Oh, where's the one about the one? Oh, that's the worst fire season. We don't want that. Here we go. Canada blamed for forestry underfunding and mismanagement. This is from this year too, June. Heavy smoke conditions, critics, forests, forests. Here we go. Critics have also blamed. What is this from? Washington Examiner. Blamed Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for repeatedly invoking climate change, saying that the warming conditions do not relieve the country of its duty to conduct certain preventative measures to maintain its dense forests, such as forest thinning, brush removal, and small control birds. And this is the other problem: is that by doing this, by giving them this scapegoat and this out, it allows them to not do the things that they're supposed to do, and then that money goes other places, like in their pocket, and it allows them to then push forward this agenda that again is going to just transfer money to God knows where. And the fact that people can't see that is really concerning to me. One of the 400 wildfires are currently burning in Canada. 239 are out of control. Oh, what's causing the fires? Warmer, dry conditions. Blah, 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 blah. Lightning storms. Lightning storms. Drier. This is climate change. Here we go. Canada's government has also faced years of sharp criticism for failing to invest more in forest management strategies such as thinning its forests, removing dead wood and underbrush, and ordering small prescribed burns when appropriate. Such efforts have been adopted in other countries with dense forest areas in recent years. The U.S. has also sought to secure more federal and state funds for fire prevention, primarily on the west. And this is the other thing too, right? If you really thought that climate change was a problem and you really thought that it was going to get hotter and drier during the summer months going forward. And you know that even if we stop all oil consumption and all pollution tomorrow, it's still going to take, let's say, just to throw out a number, 10 years to actually reverse the effects. Why wouldn't you step up your fire prevention strategies in the coming years to try to prevent this from happening? Because it's if you really think that all that is true, it's predictable what's going to happen. Even during a normal, even if it was like normal times where there wasn't climate change, you would want to be doing this stuff to prevent fires. But if you know it's going to get worse, why wouldn't you be doing this stuff like to an extreme degree to really make sure we don't get forest fires like this? The U.S. Forest Service has set a goal of increased forest treatment rates by between 2 or 4-fold. Last year, it joined the federal agencies in announcing a 10-year wildfire crisis response strategy in high-risk areas. Exactly. No fires equal no climate. That's the thing. It's just wild the lengths they'll go through to push their agenda. It's like they know that people aren't buying it and they need something that's really in people's face to try to convince them. And I mean, what's better than natural disasters? In 2021, following California's heaviest wildfire season on record, Governor Gavin Newsom approved an additional $2 billion in funding for wildfire preparedness and response efforts. The plan included thank forest removing. Yeah, see, because he got a bunch of shit for this too. And it was the same thing back then, back when California had all those wildfires too. They said the same stuff, and everybody was pointing out that the forests weren't taken care of. While wildfires are inevitable, critics say these efforts can go a long way in keeping wildfires from mushrooming in size. Exactly. That's especially important since Canada's forests are also highly susceptible to burning. As much as 66% of Canada's forests cover consists of softwood trees or coniferous species such as spruce, pine, and fir that have needles rather than leaves. Yeah. Budget concerns. They didn't donate enough, dedicate enough funds to the management. Uh, Wait a second. The amount each province sets aside can vary widely in scope based on factors such as its size, estimated risk, and wildfire patterns from previous years. Alberta's wildfire budget stands at about 117 million, while British Columbia, another fire-prone area, allocated about 102 million annually. According to 2021 analysis from Natural Resources Canada, the country's total spending on wildfire prevention has exceeded 1 billion for 6 of the last 10 years. On average, costs have risen about 150 million per decade since data collection started in 1970. Um, In the fire-prone area of Alberta, residents complained about the province's decision to axe their firefighting crews as part of a broader budget cut. Well, yeah, they have to pay for stuff like clinics to shoot up dope. Fire crew shortages, so it looks like they had a shortage of fire crews. This is what I'm saying, dude. All right, and then Yellowknife, they're gonna just blame it on. Let's look at the map again. I want a good map though. I like this map. These maps. Map's tiny. Fire map. Aha. Perfect. Wow. Where is he? Search? Way to search. Where's Yellowknife? I guess Yellowknife is most. way up there. Here? Yeah, right here. So are each of these little dots? Thermal anomaly. Oh, Yellowknife This is from Rebel News. Yellowknife RCMP received 2 reports of alleged arson Tuesday evening before the territory issued widespread evacuations of 20K people from the capital. This. And this is the other thing too, is if you start like you get people up in a tizzy about climate change. You tell them that we're all going to die in 5 years, and then people don't believe them. And these kids literally think that we're all going to die and that we're destroying the earth and all this terrible stuff. But people aren't believing it, and they really like feel that anxiety that they need to do something. This is what they could resort to. Let's see. Local law enforcement has charged and arrested 4 female youths with arson for attempting to start a fire along Burwash Drive that a resident managed to put out. Uh, they arrested all 4 and seized aerosol cans and lighters used in the incident. Oh, they have a video of it. I don't know if they have it in this article, though. In the news release, police said this is one of 2 alleged arson attempts they are investigating in Yellowknife. RCMP are still searching for 2 men suspected of starting a fire near Long Lake on the northwest side of the city. So it sounds like they were doing it in tandem because it was both by the same area. What is it? Long Lake. Yeah, Long Lake, which is what does it say? She doesn't show one here. Oh, here we go. Wait, Bartlett, Russell. Duckley. Gotta be one of these over here, though. Huh. A witness in the area reported seeing 2 men running from the area wearing black clothing. Yeah. Understand. It's beyond understanding that in the face of everything in the territory and the threat approaching our city, people would actively attempt to start fires and endanger our community members. I mean, what the fuck do you expect? Both of the incidents came on the heels of an encroaching wildfire 16 kilometers northwest of Yellowknife. Shortly after RCMP received both reports of suspected arson, Northwest Territories declared a state of emergency. So it was while the other ones were already going. Yeah. And then they wonder why people are like, oh, it's bullshit, it's bullshit. Oh. Oh, all right, what else do we have? So I Googled what caused the fire in Yellowknife, and it says climate change, but then we just found an article saying that there was definitely alleged arson. So and I remember from my childhood or from when I was younger that there was fires all the time, and it was always the same thing. It was that dry conditions.
The nation's largest northern city. Evacuation orders as wildfires close in. 20,000 people in Yellowknife alone have been told to get out by noon Friday, and more than 200 fires are burning across Canada's Northwest Territories. Officials there have declared a state of emergency. Meantime, this surreal image is from Fort McMurray, ravaged by another wildfire in 2016, where the flames this week turned the sky red. You can imagine the alarm in that city. Officials say they're trying to deploy more resources to the region. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada's military has been called in to help.
A great use for. Yeah, so a lot of sketchy shit with that, as per usual.
Yeah, so here, this is a video. Now, the only video that I can see that has any evidence, and this is only a video, and you can't verify the document because it's just in a video behind somebody on TikTok. I can't stand TikTok today. So she basically shows this, and it appears to be, and I as far as I can tell, this did happen. So what you have is a rental location where people are renting, like apartment buildings, right? Somebody who owns the property apparently gave an eviction notice to everybody that lived there because, whatever, and it apparently didn't burn down, but there's damages. And they basically said, we're evicting everybody because we're going to sell this property, which makes sense with what's going on today. People are coming in, the vultures are coming in to buy everything, not just what was burned, because that's always been the plan. And he literally gives them 45 days.
By the way, this is the Last American Vagabond. I just happened to click on it to see what he was covering, and this is interesting. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, so I just want to at least get through this part.
Some people just wholesale lying about this, saying the governor's evicting everybody. The mayor of Maui is evicting people. That's not what's happening. Everybody, again, people have a right to lie. That's free speech. I just think it's hilarious that Twitter is censoring people for things that are true while allowing the things that aren't. It's hilarious. But they shouldn't censor anybody. But the point is, and you listen to the video yourself, she's making it very clear. It was a person of rental, and the owner of the property decided to sell it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's this video. And it's just this person who is talking about this video. So, and then goes into one of these posts somebody made about it, where, of course, all the other posts are keeping this part out of it because it's not as clickbaity when you leave out the fact that the person who did it takes it back and says, I'm sorry, and never mind. The landlord decides to say, never mind, I'm pulling back the eviction notice, and now you can stay there. Probably because everybody was like, are you disgusting? Are you serious? And so either way, as far as the story goes, and this is the same video everyone's pointing to, it turns out he pulled it back anyway. It doesn't change the fact that it's disgusting, that people are still trying to evict people while this is happening. But it's not somebody who owns property that is being pushed out.
Oh, this is down the rabbit hole?
That's what people are sensitive to, right? Okay.
Down the rabbit hole. Here it is. All right. Yeah, she was actually covering some of the other stuff I've been watching recently too. Maybe it's a short. Yes, right here.
Hey guys, so I'm getting a lot of messages about the Maui fires and how people are receiving eviction notices from landlords during the fire. Let me show you these two videos.
His home, he lost everything, but this isn't for him. This is somebody else by him. They didn't lose their home, but they're about to because the mayor is evicting the entire fucking building. Some of the only people that still had homes, and they're evicting them. They have 45 days. To the people that thought that this was fake, I hope you get a fucking life. But everybody else, I thank you so fucking much because I have a feeling TikTok had something to do with this. The landlord backpedaled. They get to stay. Doesn't mean they're not going to try to grab land.
Let me know your thoughts.
Wait, so was this during the fire, they're saying?
Baby Bunny has a doctor's appointment today, so I'll probably see you guys later. But we definitely need to put this on blast. Hey guys, so I'm getting a lot of messages about the Maui fires and how people are receiving eviction notices from landlords during the fire. Let me show you these two videos.
His home, he lost everything, but this isn't for him. This is somebody else by him. They didn't lose their home, but they're about to because the mayor is evicting the entire fucking building. Some of the only people that still had homes, and they're evicting them. They have 45 days. To the people that thought that this was fake.
Wow.
So here, again, I just can't not laugh at how dumb this is. And none of this is being proven. Everyone's going, hey, TikTok said. We got to be better than this, guys. We got to be. I know, I'm again speaking to the choir. You guys understand that, but it's just And TikTok and Twitter and the rest of these, I mean, this is what they're made for, guys. They are
Can
driving
I just say that
people.
I cannot stand it when you click on an article or something and they don't fucking date it? Why wouldn't you date it? Yeah, I don't know when this is from.
People are already being called, being pressured. And by the way, this is not a new topic. Long before these fires, this has been happening. They've been pressured, they've been attacked, they've been threatened.
Okay.
So just make sure you understand that. Now, the climate change overlap is just so embarrassingly stupid. And you got these people, this guy with 41,000 followers, saying entire cities are being wiped off the face of this planet due to climate change related events.
This
Last
is the
week,
guy
it was
that we
Lahaina.
saw earlier on Twitter.
Today, it's Yellowknife in
Yeah.
Canada, the capital of the Northwest Territory. Okay, interesting. Well, I did just the smallest, and I mean, like the first thing that popped up was, oh, turns out that's arson.
That's
How
the exact
interesting.
same thing.
August
I found.
16th, verbatim says,
Right, but
hold on.
that's kind of dishonest because. Oh, wait a second.
I guess this guy can't read past the first line, but he's an intelligent journalist, right? He's going to inform you.
Right, but no, they're not saying.
Okay. Here's another example. The police in that area are right now investigating even more calls of arson. So they already deemed it arson, but now they're investigating even more examples of the. Yeah, you know why? Because this is happening repeatedly, where people are setting fires in multiple locations at the same time. They start at the same time, and then people like this infant-minded person will come out and say,
I'm not going to say that it's 100% arson, but they did arrest some girls for arson, and there was another case of arson in that area where they're still looking for two men that were dressed in all black. But it's definitely possible. I'm not ruling out the possibility that it was probably arson.
as I can tell, these are arson.
Could be.
As I said, are you willfully lying to people, or are you just incapable of doing due diligence?
Willfully lying.
The fires in this exact areas you're showing have been found to be
willfully
arson.
lying.
As with so many fires,
Yeah, but you go look it up.
due to climate change with nothing but your feelings. And this person then says, do you not understand that the stronger winds and drier conditions created by climate change help the fires spread more easily and make them more difficult to put out? I just
Oh, wait, no, we want the
so what I
Canada
said
one
is,
star.
so your point is
Honestly.
that even if the fires were started by people deliberately, which they were, that climate change made it worse, which is completely your opinion, therefore this is due to climate change? Well, that is some next level willful ignorance.
It's
Wow.
pretty interesting that
That's
so
who we're
like
fighting with.
this happened to me earlier when I looked at it. I Googled what caused the Yellowknife fires. This Yellowknife in Canada that newer fires have sprung up there, and I like he said he found. Oh, what's this?
Different locations. It's kind of caught the
So
hallmarks
it
of
says
every
Daniel
other
Smith
example we've
says
seen.
500 of 650 Alberta
It's
wildfires
just kind
were
of hard to
started by
wrap your mind around
humans.
and it be this blatant. Well, here's an important post. Climate change will continue to strike attractive locations that the state wishes to purchase at a discount, warn scientists. Well, if you jumped out of your seat, it's the World Economist Forum. Am I saying that incorrectly? Economist? It's not the World Economic Forum. Let's put it that way. But the point is, this is that parody account that seems to trick people constantly, which is hilarious.
Funny.
Because if you just glance at it, it's
I
hard
didn't
to see.
notice it first.
Blue check and all, right? But this is a parody account. But a lot of people down here didn't realize that. But
yeah,
like,
but
this
so
is
if you just
climate
look
change
up if you just look up what caused the Yellowknife fires, all you get is climate change shit. It does not come up. I wonder if I type in Yellowknife arson. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, so then it does come up. The CBC article we looked at earlier. Interesting.